Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. We're thrilled to have you here with us today. Today we're diving into a topic that sparked countless debates and discussions throughout history. Was Jesus a socialist? This question has intrigued scholars, theologians, and everyday people alike. Now I know what you might be thinking. Oprah, Jesus, and socialism? Isn't that mixing religion and politics? It's a complex and often controversial intersection, and you know what? You're right to ask that question. It's a valid concern, and one that deserves careful consideration. It's a sensitive topic, and we're going to approach it with the respect and open-mindedness it deserves. We aim to foster a thoughtful and respectful dialogue. But here's the thing, when we strip away the labels and the preconceived notions, and we really dive deep into the teachings of Jesus, we find some pretty radical ideas. Ideas that challenge our modern perspectives. Ideas about wealth, poverty, power, and service that might surprise you. These teachings have the potential to reshape how we view our society and our responsibilities to one another. Let's start with the book of Mark, chapter 10, verses 42 through 45. In these verses, we find a profound teaching from Jesus that challenges conventional ideas about power and leadership. Jesus says, "You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." This is a stark contrast to the way the world often views greatness and success. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. This teaching flips the script on what it means to be important, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. Jesus is emphasizing that true leadership is rooted in humility and service to others. Now think about that for a moment. In a world where power and status are often pursued at all costs, this message is revolutionary. Jesus, the one who countless people believe is the Son of God, is saying that true greatness comes from serving others. This is not just a call to action, but a call to a new way of thinking. Not lording power over them, not seeking status or wealth, but serving. This teaching encourages us to look beyond our own desires and to consider the needs of others. That's a pretty radical idea, even today. Imagine a world where everyone sought to serve rather than to be served. How different would our communities, our workplaces, and our world be? And then there's the golden rule. We find this in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. "So in everything do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." This one sentence, my friends, is a blueprint for a more just and compassionate world. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, understanding their needs, and treating them with the same kindness and respect that you would want for yourself. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and understanding that we are all connected. But Jesus doesn't stop there. He goes on to challenge the very idea of prioritizing wealth and possessions. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, he says, "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." This is a powerful statement, especially in a world that often seems obsessed with material wealth. Jesus is asking us to examine our priorities, to ask ourselves what truly matters in life. Is it about accumulating wealth and possessions, or is it about something deeper, something more meaningful? And if you're still struggling with anxiety about your material needs, Jesus offers these words of comfort in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes?" He's reminding us that our worth isn't tied to what we own or consume. We are so much more than that. Our value comes from within, from our capacity for love, compassion, and connection. Jesus continues this theme in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21. "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Earthly possessions are vulnerable to decay and theft, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where they are safe and eternal. In heaven moths and vermin do not destroy, and your treasures remain untouched by time, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Your heavenly treasures are secure, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Your priorities reflect your values. He's warning us against the dangers of placing too much importance on material possessions. They can be fleeting, they can be stolen, they can be destroyed. Material wealth is temporary and unreliable. True wealth, he argues, lies in the things that money can't buy: love, compassion, kindness, generosity, and faith. These are the treasures that last forever and enrich our lives in ways that material possessions never can. By focusing on these eternal treasures, we build a life of true fulfillment and joy. These are the values that create lasting happiness and a meaningful existence. In Matthew chapter 23, verse 12, Jesus delivers a sharp warning against self-importance and the pursuit of power. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. This is a reminder that true leadership doesn't come from dominance or control, but from humility and service. It's about putting the needs of others before your own and recognizing that we are all interconnected. Chapter 7. Perhaps the most radical of Jesus' teachings is found in Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 and 44. You have heard that it was said, "Love your neighbor and hate your enemy." But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is a challenging concept. There's no denying that, but it's a call to break free from the cycle of hatred and violence, to respond to injustice with love and compassion. It's a reminder that even those we perceive as enemies are deserving of our empathy and understanding. Chapter 8. In John chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus offers words of comfort and encouragement. "I've told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." He acknowledges the very real struggles and challenges we face in this life, but he also reminds us that we are not alone in facing them. He has already overcome the world, and through him we can find the strength and resilience to overcome our own obstacles. Chapter 9. One of the most well-known stories about Jesus involves a rich young man who asks him what he must do to inherit eternal life. Jesus responds, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." This story, found in Matthew chapter 19, verse 21, is often interpreted as a call to radical generosity and detachment from material possessions. It's a reminder that true wealth lies not in what we own, but in our relationship with God and our service to others. Chapter 10. In the Beatitudes found in Matthew chapter 5, verse 7, Jesus says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." This is a reminder that compassion and forgiveness are not signs of weakness but of strength. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and extending grace to others, even when they don't deserve it. Chapter 11. In Luke chapter 6, verse 30, Jesus teaches, "Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back." This is a radical call to generosity and non-attachment. It's about recognizing that true abundance comes not from hoarding our possessions, but from sharing them freely with others. Chapter 12. Finally, in John chapter 14, verse 15, Jesus says, "If you love me, keep my commands." This is a reminder that true faith is not merely about words or beliefs, but about actions. It's about living out the values of love, compassion, and justice that Jesus taught. Outro. So, was Jesus a socialist? That's a question for theologians and historians to debate. But what we can say for sure is that Jesus' teachings offer a radical vision of a world where love, compassion, and justice reign supreme. A world where the poor are cared for, the marginalized are lifted up, and the powerful are called to serve. Whether you agree with his politics or not, There's no denying the profound impact Jesus' message has had on the world. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.